Hey, what is up everybody? This is K Rail, Chief Fitness Advisor for Pine Pollen Superfoods and Train for Longevity. Today we're going to be going over 10 kettlebell deadlift variations. Yes, that's a lot, but we can get a little crafty and we can create all kinds of variations just to make your workouts more fun and more interesting and to recruit more muscle fiber. Now, before we get started, let me warn you ahead of time, I'm 68 hours into a fast, so if I get winded and have to take a rest, please forgive me. So, first things first, let's go over how to do a deadlift properly. So, we often get bombarded in the fitness industry with people who are doing more of a squat than a deadlift. So, a deadlift is not this. That right there is a squat. It's nothing more than a squat. A deadlift is when you push your hips back like this, and you have about a 45-degree angle in your femurs, and your shins are relatively vertical to the ground. So it's more like this. It's a hip hinge, okay? So that's the proper way to do a deadlift. So the first one we're going to do is a single kettlebell deadlift, and it's going to look like this. Our kettlebell will be right between our feet. We're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart, toes facing forward, and our feet parallel. We're going to push our hips back, grab a hold of the handle of the kettlebell, pull your shoulder blades in, and contract your lats. They're very powerful muscles that we need to contract when we're doing deadlifts. That's the whole point of this. So we're going to keep our shoulders in by packing our shoulders by contracting our lats. That's how we're going to preload the exercise. So we're going to grab the handle, preload, and we're just going to stand up, we're going to pop our hips forward, and we're going to lock out solid right there. And when we lock out, we want to contract our quads, our glutes, our hamstrings, and our lats and our abs all together in one smooth motion. So again, one kettlebell deadlift looks like this. Grab the handle, pack your shoulders, inhale down, exhale up. Okay, so now we can quickly make this a little more challenging by adding 2 kettlebells to the mix. So now we're going to do 2 kettlebells with a deadlift. So it's a unilateral tension going on in our body, so we get a little bit more of a, I don't know, a little more muscle recruitment, and a little more ab recruitment, I would say, with this. So it's going to be performed the same way, except we might have to widen our feet just a little bit wider just to make sure the kettlebells fit between them. So it's going to look like this. 2 kettlebells, right up. I'll do it from this angle. 2 kettlebells parked right about there. Feet here, push your hips back. Right up you go. Okay, that's your second variation. Third one is just a slight little difference. I'm going to do it this way. So, we're going to use 1 kettlebell, 1 arm, and we're going to alternate back and forth with our arms. So all the same rules will apply. We're just going to push our hips back, grab it with 1 arm, and then we're going to lift it up. Now the key thing is this. When you do the 1 arm variation, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this. Okay, those are all incorrect form errors that I see a lot of people make. What we want to do is try to keep our shoulders square to the floor the whole time. So we're going to push our hips back, grab the handle, pack our shoulder, keep our shoulders as square to the floor as we can, and stand right up. Now you have the option of doing all one side and then switch arms, or you can alternate back and forth like so. Just like that. Good? Cool. Okay, now we're going to do, let's see, we've done 3 so far. Let's do suitcase deadlifts. So a suitcase deadlift is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to act like we're picking up a suitcase. So our kettlebell is now going to be on the side of our body, right by our foot. And we're going to push our hips back, again keeping the shoulders square. Lift the kettlebell. Just like that. You can also do 2 kettlebells at once on the outside of your legs. And you can also do alternating each arm. Like so. Now what you don't want to do again is when you're coming out picking up your kettlebell, you don't want to go lateral like this and then try to lift that kettlebell up. I've got moderately light kettlebells I'm working with here, and if you have heavier ones, you can torque your back so quick it's not even funny. So let's not do that. Let's not make it happen. Okay, now, single arm, single leg deadlift. I'm going to do a side angle for you. So, this time, we're going to grab the kettlebell, we're going to pick it up with 1 arm and 1 leg. So we can start with it on the side like this. Grab it. Try to maintain your balance the whole time. Do that hip hinge. Come on up. Just like that. That's a single leg, single arm deadlift. I gotta take a quick intermission because I'm getting tired. Remember, I've been fasting for 6 to 8 hours. Hold tight, I'll be right back. Okay, class is back in session. Now we're gonna move on to the Romanian deadlifts, which these are really, really good for hammering those hamstrings and those glutes in the posterior chain. So, first drill we can do is with one kettlebell. So, instead of having that hip hinge going on like this, we're going to predominantly keep our legs straight this time and have a slight bend in our knee, and we want to keep our back as flat as we can. So this is what it looks like. We're going to start with one kettlebell. So this is a single kettlebell Romanian deadlift. We're going to push our hips back, just like this, grab the handle, come up. Then when we're going down, slight bend in the knees, push the hips back, stop when your back is almost parallel to the floor, but not quite, just a little bit higher, right about there. Push those hips back, okay? That's your Romanian deadlift with one kettlebell. The second variation is Romanian deadlift with two kettlebells, much like we did with regular deadlift. So let's grab them, go up to a safe position. And then I suggest bring your feet about hip width apart for these, instead of like super wide like this. And then we're just gonna do the same thing. Slight bend in the knees, come on up. Once you start to feel like a really good stretch in your hamstrings, which I feel right now, that's usually your cue to come back up. You don't wanna go too far, because we don't want to strain our back at all. We always want to keep our back safe. Okay, so that's a double kettlebell Romanian deadlift. Now, we can do the same thing we did with our other deadlifts and do an alternating arm Romanian deadlift. So we'll straddle the kettlebell, deadlift it, bring it up. Now, we will keep our feet about the same thing, but hip width, shoulder width apart. We're going to come down, slight bend in the knees, come up. Down. So here you can do all reps on one side with one arm. Like this. Then go into a regular deadlift to drop it down, bring it up, and then switch sides. And I have a mirror right here so I can see my form perfectly. So I highly suggest if you're doing these in the gym, have a mirror in front of you or to the side, and make sure that you're not doing anything stupid or bad or it's going to put you into threat. So we go like this. Now the trick, it's kind of hard to do an alternating arm one with these because we're doing more of a straight leg. If you want to do an alternating arm, I would suggest doing one rep, then doing a regular deadlift, park it, bring it up, then do a Romanian deadlift. It's a little bit more complex and a little bit more movement, but it's totally cool because you'll burn more calories and you'll get more lean ripped. So it's a win-win situation anyway. Okay, now we're going to move on to a complex drill, or just a complex as we call them in the kettlebell world. So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine a deadlift and a row together. So we're going to stand outside of two kettlebells with our feet about, like the same distance I said, slightly wider than shoulder width or whatever it takes to fit around the kettlebells. So we're going to do a deadlift position. So we're going to come up to here, and now what we're going to do is a row. And then we're going to stand up. Then we're going to come back down, do a double row. And when you're doing your row, start with your palms facing backwards, and then tuck your elbows into your ribcage and turn your palms inward. So from the side angle, it'll look a little something like this. So we come into our deadlift position, we do a row, and then up we go. Row, up we go. And we can do this with one arm as well for a fun little variation. So we'll grab our kettlebell, come into our deadlift position, row, stand, row, stand. And when you're letting this kettlebell hang down, again, don't let your shoulder get wrenched downward like that, okay? So we can do a set of reps on this side, and then we can easily just switch to the other. Okay, last variation I've got for you is a single leg Romanian deadlift. So now we're going to grab our kettlebell. We're going to stand on one leg. Kettlebell's in the right hand. Right foot is on the floor. Lift our left foot. Lower us up down as slow as we can. And carefully come on back up. Ideally, this foot stays off the ground the whole time. And your shoulders stay square to the ground again. Remember that. And then we can switch sides. Just like that. Now you can make this more challenging by switching your feet. So if your kettlebell's in your left hand and your right foot is planted on the ground, that's going to be much more challenging to balance yourself. I'm succeeding pretty well right now because I've been warmed up. But when you get going on these, it could be a little more challenging for you. And I guess it's worth mentioning, we can also do the single leg Romanian deadlift with two kettlebells. Then it's just going to be either or leg. You can have the weight distributed evenly in the front of your body, and then you can just choose to do a set for each leg, or you can alternate back and forth. Lost my balance there. Whew. I am working up sweat. Okay, there you have it. There are 10 kettlebell deadlift variations for you to practice and try. Just integrate them into your workouts as you see fit. And if you're always looking for something spicy, you got 10 choices right there. Okay, my name is Kay Rail. I'm the Chief Fitness Advisor for Pine Pond Superfoods and Train for Longevity. If you have any questions or comments, always hit me up. And in the meantime, make sure to like and share our videos and please subscribe to our page. Talk to you soon.